Welcome to the Woes of Whitby, a 4-part original audio drama based on the classic novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. Episode 1, Unspeakable Horrors.
Journal entry, the 4th of May. I stayed the previous night in a charming inn situated at the base of the Carpathian Mountains in the territory of Transylvania. The breakfast this morning was quite satisfactory, a dish they called impletata, though I am unaccustomed to the robust use of paprika. I must remember to secure the recipe on my return. I'm sure my darling Mina would be delighted at the chance to try it herself. I do wonder how my betrothed is keeping herself busy while I'm away. After breakfast, I was called on by a delivery boy with a letter for me. It gave instructions on my passage to Castle Dracula, which sets forth this evening when my stagecoach arrives at 7 p.m., and was signed by the Count himself, with whom I'm employed to do business with. Sitting now outside the inn, I await my stagecoach. The evening is clear and beautiful, although the villagers here huddle together as if a storm were on its way. I'm really not quite sure why
Young heir, forgive me, but must you go?
Alas, I must. Although I would be simply delighted to spend another night here at your charming little inn, I am, unfortunately, engaged in important business with Count Dracula, and...
But do you know where it is you travel to?
Why, of course I do. Castle Dracula.
Oh yes, I know that. Of course I know that. But do you know what kind of place it is?
I'm afraid I do not understand.
It is evil. Do you not know that all the evils of the world roam the castle halls? I fear for you.
Superstition, that's all this is. Now, as I said, I am engaged in important...
I beg of you, do not depart this night. If you must go, at least travel in the light of day, when the evil is tamed for a time.
I am touched by your concern, but I beg of you not to distress on my account. I shall be fine. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Here, take this crucifix to protect yourself.
Now, I must protest.
For your mother's sake, if not your own.
Well, all right. Thank you, I suppose. That appears to be my stagecoach, right on time. I must be going.
The saints have mercy on his soul.
My dearest Lucy, forgive my long delay in writing, but I have been simply overwhelmed by my work here in Exeter. I won't go into the details because, quite frankly, they bore even me. Needless to say, I am longing to see you again and to be in Whitby, to smell the sea and feel the wind on my face. I received a letter from Jonathan this week. It was short, but says all goes well. Oh, how I wish I could have gone with him to Transylvania to see such exotic places. But alas, I couldn't have gotten away from my responsibilities. The cost for the two of us to travel would have been too great. I long to hear back from you. Your loving friend, Mina Murray. P.S. You must write to me of everything, especially these rumours I hear of a tall, handsome man.
Dearest Lucy, forgive my long day in writing, but I've been sent to one work in Exeter. I won't go into details, but quite frankly, if you bore me. I received a letter from Jonathan this week. I long to hear back from you, your loving friend Mina Murray. P.S. You must write me of everything, especially these rumors I hear of tall, handsome men. Dear Mina, I would have thought better of you than to be listening to gossip. But I won't scold you this time. The rumors of my engagement are true. Oh, I'm so happy, dear friend. But also filled with sadness, for when it rains, it pours. Not only did I receive one proposal, but 3, all within the same day. Can you believe it? The first came from dear Dr. Seward, of whom I'm sure I've mentioned before, as Mother has taken a liking to him, and he has offered her care in the past. It was just before lunch that day when he approached me and said,
Lucy, would you be so kind as... What I mean is, I have something I would like to say, if you would like to listen.
Of course, Doctor.
Please, I would be honored if you called me Jack. Lucy, the thing is, I mean as much as to say as, well, I haven't had the pleasure of knowing you long, but meeting you has made my life seem that much lovelier. And, well, that's the crux of it, isn't it? You make life seem so much brighter, Lucy, that I find myself... Lucy, I would like to ask for your hand in marriage.
Oh, my dear Jack,
Oh, I see. I understand. You do not feel that way about me.
No.
I see. Is there any chance that in time you may...
I'm afraid not.
I do not wish to overstep where I have no right to. But may I ask, is there someone else?
There is. Oh, Jack, I am so sorry. You are a wonderful, wonderful man, and any woman would be lucky to call herself your wife. It just cannot be I.
Thank you for the kind words, but you have no cause to apologize. I appreciate your honesty, but I think I should perhaps go now. Though, should you in the future ever need a friend, I hope that I might be counted as one. Good day.
Oh, Mina, it was terrible. Being proposed to sounds all well and exciting, until you have to watch a good man whom you respect walk away with a broken heart. I'd barely gotten over the experience before my next suitor came.
Afternoon, Miss Lucy.
Why, Mr. Morris, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I'd like a moment to talk, if that's all right with you. Miss Lucy, I ain't good enough to be your shoe shiner, let alone be something more. Excuse me being forward, miss, but won't you just hitch up your saddle alongside me and let us go down the long road together?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know much about saddles or hitching, Mr. Morris.
Pardon me, Miss Lucy, but I guess I've spoken too lightly for something so momentous. I could jabber on for a fortnight about how your laughter is like a bubbling stream to a parched throat, or how your eyes shine like when the rising sun glints off the dewdrops hanging from the pine needles, but let me ask you straight. Will you be my wife?
Oh. Well, you see, there is someone else whom I love, though he's not yet told me the same, but I...
Oh, please don't fuss over me, miss. I've got strong shoulders. I'll be all right. I apologize for the bother, but would it be too much to ask that I might have the privilege of kissing your hand before I go?
You may, Mr. Morris.
Please, just Quincy will do. Good day to you, Miss Lucy. I'll be wishing you the best of luck. Whoever it is who has your heart had best wake up and smell the roses, or they'll miss the best thing that could ever happen to 'em.
Oh, what a kind man. It was all too much. It makes me wonder why a woman can't marry as many men as she likes. And then, dear Mina, there was the 3rd proposal. But I can't bring myself to write of it now. It's all too soon, and I feel like I should tell you in person. Please, dear friend, visit as soon as you can. Yours lovingly, Lucy Westenra.
Dear Lucy, I have read your letter and am filled with joy. My chance for a holiday has come, thanks to you. I'm departing in a few days' time from Exeter to be in Whitby by the time you receive this letter. I shall be with you soon. Your loving friend, Mina Murray.
Oh, my Mina!
Oh, Lucy! Lucy! Oh, you're beautiful as ever. A little pale. Are you getting enough sun?
Oh, don't mother me, Mina. I'm perfectly fine. Perhaps a little lacking in sleep. But oh, how can I sleep with all that has happened? And look at you! Jonathan is a lucky man.
Oh, no, I am the lucky one. I could not ask for a better man. If only our wedding could be sooner.
I see you haven't lost your compulsive modesty.
And I can see that you haven't lost your bluntness. It's very unbecoming of a lady.
Pish posh! Ladylike behaviours, oh so restrictive and depressing.
Oh, Lucy!
And anyways, Arthur is not bothered by my bluntness, as you call it. I like to believe it is why he fancies me.
Ah, so his name is Arthur. Tell me more.
Yes, his name is Arthur. Arthur Holmwood. Oh, Mina, he is so sweet and handsome, intelligent and handsome. He's quite well off too. And did I say handsome?
3 times.
When you meet him, you'll understand. He seems a little shy at first, but he's ever so passionate once you get him talking. And he's so kind to his mother. Oh, the very thought of him fills my heart to the brim with joy. And an overwhelming sense of nervousness. Is that normal?
Yes, very much. I remember when Jonathan proposed to me, I could hardly eat a bite for a week. But yet I wanted to spend every moment with him. Oh, how I miss him.
Look at me carrying on. Have you heard any other news from Jonathan?
Not a word. I try not to worry, but it's been almost 2 weeks since his last letter. I'm afraid I was a bit indirect in my last correspondence to you. His last letter did say that all was well, but it was so brief. It didn't sound like him at all.
Brief? Jonathan would use 100 words when 10 would suffice.
Exactly. I try not to succumb to paranoia, but I cannot help but fear that Jonathan is hiding something.
Jonathan? Your Jonathan? He's the truest man I've ever met. I can't even imagine him being dishonest with you.
I wish I could not imagine it. But 2 weeks. Surely, if all was well, I would have heard something.
Oh.
Lucy? My dear, are you well?
Yes, it was just a dizzy spell.
Are you feeling ill? Have you eaten?
Mina, really, must you? You are not my doctor.
No, I'm your friend, which means much more.
Isn't it such a pretty view from up here? I've come to love the yard here at St. Mary's Church. This bench has become my favourite place to sit and watch.
Lucy, talk to me.
I've been having these terrible dreams, Mina. More like nightmares, really. I suppose it's taken a toll on my sleeping.
When did this start?
Oh, I don't know. Last week, perhaps? Oh, no, it was the night after the storm, last Sunday night. Did you hear about that? Everyone was talking about it.
No, I didn't.
It came on so awfully quick, with the densest fog I've ever seen settle over the port. When it last debated, a foreign schooner had run ashore, just down there. Look, you can still see some of the wreckage from here. It was the strangest thing, for there was nothing on board save 4 large crates of soil. Witnesses saw a large black wolf leap from the bow and run off into the woods. They sent out parties, but no one has found it.
I believe you're evading. I don't see how this has anything to do with you.
But that's just it. I've seen the wolf. In my dreams every night since the storm. Even now I can picture its red eyes, watching me. However, it's not always a wolf. Sometimes it's a bat, a large black one, yet with those same red eyes.
Oh, you're beginning to worry me now. Have you seen a physician about these nightmares?
And get laughed at for being frail and weak? I think not.
Oh, surely your doctor wouldn't...
Surely he would. Heavens, the time has gotten away from us. We best be going. Mother's likely waiting anxiously by the door for our return.
But...
And we've already made up another bed for you in my room. It'll be just like old times.
Oh, well, all right.
Start recording. Diary of Dr. Jack Seward, the 5th of June. It is late. Any rational thinking mind would be asleep, but I fear when it comes to matters of the heart, rationale plays no part. It has been more than 2 weeks since Lucy Westenra declined my proposal of marriage. I do not, and will not, blame Lucy for her decision. She decided rightly and fairly, and with more compassion than I deserve. However, when my dear friend Arthur let slip the news of his engagement to Lucy, I was devastated, but I cannot show it, for Arthur is aglow with happiness. For now, I will preoccupy myself with work, for it seems to be the only comfort for a broken heart. The case of my newest patient, Mr. Renfield, grows curiouser and curiouser. He was brought to me by the authorities after he was found attempting to bite citizens in the park. Yesterday, an orderly reported him using the sugar from his tea to attract common flies to his window, which he captured and kept contained in a box. When I questioned him as to this behaviour, he was evasive. He amassed quite a colony of flies in one day, but by this morning they were nowhere to be seen. Hoping to understand him, I attempted to question him again. Mr. Renfield, would you care to explain to me what happened to the flies?
Isn't it obvious, good doctor?
I'm afraid it's not.
Why, you're a smart man. What do you suppose happened?
I suppose the obvious answer would be that you let them free.
No! Don't be daft, good doctor.
Perhaps they died, being kept inside a box.
Indirectly, I suppose.
Mr. Renfield, could you explain to me what happened? In your own words.
Why, good doctor, it's simple. I ate them.
And why, pray tell, would you do that? We feed you quite well here.
Dead things! You only feed me dead things!
I assure you, the food is well prepared and full of all the nutrients your body requires to remain...
They aren't full of life! I want life. That's what he feeds on.
He? Of whom do you speak?
That I mustn't tell. You must figure it out yourself, my good doctor. I suggest soon, before he comes for me.
That was the last he would speak to anyone today. And so, I find myself here in my study, trying to untangle this madman's logic, to understand him, and hopefully to help him. For if I cannot help myself, by the heavens, I will find a way to help my patient. End recording.
Oh, good heavens, what was that? Lucy? Was that you? My dear, are you all right? Are you having another nightmare? Empty. Now where would she have... Lucy, this better not be a game. We're not children anymore. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Westenra.
Mina, you can't go about scaring old women like that.
I'm looking for Lucy, and I thought that you were her. Here, let me help you with that coat stand.
Oh, thank you, dear. I heard the crash from upstairs. It scared the life out of me. I haven't the foggiest as to why it fell. Looking for Lucy, you said. Isn't she in bed?
She isn't. I just awoke and she's not there.
Well, now, I'm sure she's just stretching her legs. Or perhaps
Wait. Her coat is missing from the rack. See? It must have been her who brought it down.
The front door is ajar. You don't think she...
Lucy? Lucy?
Are you out here, Lucy? Oh, where to look?
Oh, Lucy? Where might she go?
Well, I don't know. Perhaps Dr. Seward?
No, she wouldn't call on him right now. Not at night.
But if it was an emergency...
She would have come to us. Where else? Where does she go on her own?
The churchyard.
Lucy? Lucy?
Do you see anything? I can hardly make out my own hand in this darkness.
Look, there at the bench. Is that a man? Perhaps he knows...
Hello, sir. Excuse me, have you seen... Wait! Don't go! I'm looking for my daughter, please, sir, my daughter.
Mrs. Westenra at the bench. Is that Lucy?
Oh, my baby! But what was that man doing to her?
I don't know. Lucy, look at me. Are you all right?
Mina? Mother? What's wrong?
What's wrong? Look where you are.
The churchyard. How odd, I was just dreaming of this place.
How did you get here, dear? Who was that man? Did he touch you? What has he done to you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh.
What man?
Oh.
The last thing I recall is lying down for bed.
Oh.
Mother, please calm down. Oh, does this mean I'm sleepwalking again? Oh no.
Listen to me. I do not know what this means, but we will find out. Together. What's important now is to make sure that you're all right and to get you home.
I feel quite all right. Just a little cold.
Your neck is bleeding.
I don't recall being injured.
It's all right. It's all right. The bleeding has already slowed. We'll figure it out. Come, dear. Let's get you home. The 7th of June. I am driving myself mad. Have not had word from Jonathan in 3 weeks, and my mind reels with speculation as to why. Has his ship marooned? Was his coach attacked by bandits? But deeper in my heart, my worries are selfish. What if, in his travels, he has found something else, or rather, someone else that he desires more? It's not so hard to believe, is it? How could I, quiet, mousy Mina Murray, measure up against all the...
Mina, look. There's a letter addressed to you from Sister Agatha of the Hospital of St. Joseph's in Romania. I wonder what they could be mailing about.
How peculiar. Dear Madam Wilhelmina Murray, I write by desire of Mr. Jonathan Harker.
What is it? What does it say?
It says... Oh, thank heavens. It says that Jonathan came to them weeks ago, very ill and out of his wits, but by their care he is recovering. They encouraged me to come post-haste to aid in his recovery. Oh, I am so relieved. These past weeks I have been overcome with fear, but now I know that my Jonathan is still alive and not...
Not what, dear?
Nothing. It matters not, for I know all is well now.
Not quite. You are not with him yet. You must go at once.
Yes, of course, of course. I should start packing and... Oh, but what about you, Lucy? I can't just leave you.
Oh, pish-posh. I'll be fine. Jonathan needs you more.
Darling, you are not fine. You are still sleepwalking
My
and...
sleepwalking is harmless. And besides, Arthur's coming to stay in just 2 days' time.
Perhaps I should stay until he arrives.
No, I forbid it. You are not my mother, and you are not my doctor. It is not your responsibility to watch over me like a child. Your fiancé, on the other hand, is ill and needs you. He needs you, Mina.
All right. You are assuredly right.
As usual. Now start packing this moment. I'll speak to Mother and we'll have some food prepared for your travels.
You needn't.
Pack. Now.
Oh, my Jonathan!
I am afraid he is sleeping now, my child. I encourage you not to wake him. You are his fiancée, Miss Murray.
Yes, I am. Forgive my lack of formalities. It's just that...
It is all right, child. I understand. My name is Sister Agatha. I'll be here to help in any way that I can.
Thank you. Oh, thank you more than I can say. Please, tell me, how is he?
He is getting along quite remarkably. I predict he will recover within a few weeks' time. He is such a gentle soul. Already he has won the hearts of our staff here at the hospital.
Oh, indeed. It is one of the many reasons I love him so.
He doesn't talk often, but when he does, he talks mostly of you. He loves you very much, my child.
Has he spoken of what happened? Of how he got here?
He has, though most of it is delirium, I'm afraid. But I will say this. What he has experienced, whether it be real or make-believe, has shaken him to his very soul. He will need your hand and heart these coming weeks to guide him back to peace and clarity.
Yes, of course. I will not leave his side. But what do you mean, real or make-believe?
I cannot say, my child. Go to him now. Hold his hand. I will return soon with meals for you both.
Thank you.
Mina?
Yes. Oh, yes, it's me. I'm here, my love.
How I have missed you.
How are you feeling? Do you need anything?
I am doing well enough, thanks to the sisters. All I need is you next to me now, my dear Mina.
Of course. I will never leave your side again.
Mina, I am sure you have 1,000 questions for me, but I could not tell you what happened. It is not to keep secrets from you, but because the very thought of what transpired frightens me to my core. It was terrible, so terrible. But I wrote everything in my journal, every detail. Here, take it. I dare not read these words myself and be transported to that nightmarish hell, but I give you the choice to do so.
Do not worry yourself, love. Rest.
Yes. I am tired. So tired.
No. You have come back to me, my love. That's all that matters. Sleep. I will be here when you wake. How my heart now soars to once again be with Jonathan, to sit beside him and know that he is safe with me. But now there is this, his journal and the words within it coming between us. Do I dare to read it? Do I dare to leave it unread? temptation to know what is within its pages is beyond explanation. There is a part of me that needs to know. But it's not about what I need, is it? I trust you, my love. Let the horrors of the past be forgotten. So dream now of happier times, and let us pray that these shadows are behind us now.
Thank you for listening to the Woes of Whitby. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you listen to this show to ensure Mina and the others tell their tale. Every review counts. You can find more information on the show and its creators at joshuaspectorva.com. There you can also find links to our online stores to get your hands on your very own official Woes of Whitby merch. Continue checking back as new content will continue to drop weekly. Want to get involved? We'll be doing a Q&A with the creators later this month. Drop us your questions on social media with the hashtag WoesOfWhitbyQuestion, and we'll answer it in the episode. While there, tag a friend you think would enjoy the show and use the hashtag WoesOfWhitbyRaffle to be entered for the chance to win a free digital poster collection designed by our amazing artist, Wayne Spector. This episode was written by JMC Spector and edited and directed by Joshua Spector. A thanks to our wonderful cast this episode: Elizabeth Plant as Mina Murray, Caleb Hughes as Jonathan Harker, Autumn Leith as Lucy Westenra, Eurasian Rob as Jack Seward, Trent Trachtenberg as Quincy Morris, Zachariah Hansen as Renfield, Carol Elaine Sear as Mrs. Westenra, Matt Cloutier as the innkeeper, and Gwen Morgan as Sister Agatha. You can find a complete cast list and where to find them in the description. Join us again next week for episode 2, where we delve into the mystery of Lucy's illness as dark forces begin to rise within the streets of Whitby. And don't miss an episode of bonus content this Saturday, October 3rd. And remember, friends, don't go out at night.